Sometimes we end up playing phone tag.
There are only 14 just saying.
I told you. He's
Hello,
probably
where are you
a
at?
lady friend.
Oh, is it already on there?
Yeah, they're on. You're like, why aren't you back?
I'm doing my hot sauce picks. That's why I've been off for a moment.
Well, Becca's gonna start.
I'll be on like 2 minutes.
Okay, Becca's ready to start and park.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Welcome back, everyone, to the Track Packers podcast for episode 11 of season 5. Coming off another busy stretch of racing. We have so much to discuss with myself, Mason, Mr. John Brecko, and the Pelkeys, Jessup, and Becca. Becca, how are you doing this week?
Loaded question. No, I'm doing good. I am looking forward to this weekend, although the weather doesn't look that great. But after this particular weekend, Dacotah Speedway will be off for the 4th of July, which means the next big racing event in North Dakota, for me personally, is the Dakota Classic Modified Tour. And I just saw the forecast for the Dakota Classic Modified Tour. It's going to be nice and hot, which I love me a nice hot tour. So drivers are still registering. There's a lot of big names coming through, and I saw on Snapchat today that there's a few more that are going to be signing up too. So super excited for Mod Tour, which is going to be here in like a week and a half. I'm bad at dates. I don't know what the calendar says. But anyways, I don't even know what the day is, but it's going to be here before we know it, and I'm super pumped.
No, I believe that Becca doesn't know what today is.
Well, you know what it is, Jessup?
Yes.
It's Mason's fault because we're podcasting on a different day than we usually podcast.
You know, this should
Yes.
be kind of like a green caution flag on Mason.
And
Can you find me in the rules where it says we podcast on a specific day?
Yes, I've already updated it in the
It
rules.
is so late. I don't know.
No, sir, because only I'm the one that can edit the rule book.
So you asked me how I was doing. Would you like to ask anyone else on the podcast how they're doing?
Oh, sure. Jessup, how are you doing?
You know, Mason, I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. It's nice being part of a group that you're appreciated at and in. But you know, that's what I've just known to expect from my friends and, you know, people within the racing community because we're a big racing family.
Glad to hear you're doing well. John, how are you doing?
Well, guess what, guys? I'm in hiding again.
Parts
He
unknown?
is
I'm in parts unknown. I just, I was too vocal this past weekend, so I had to just go back to parts unknown.
This is what happens when I'm indecisive on when we're podcasting during the week and my schedule is so messed up that it throws everyone off. So that is my fault, race fans and podcast listeners. I'm doing well now that I'm back in Fargo because I was actually in
I'm
your neck of
still
the
got to
woods
say
today.
things. No
I
one's
wasn't
asked.
done.
Yeah, John hasn't even said anything yet.
Yeah, he has.
Has he?
Yeah,
I
I
just
feel
said I
like
was
that
in
part
parts
got cut out
unknown
too.
because I said
Yeah.
too much this past weekend.
Yeah, Paul Stone Chevy.
But I never did say how I was doing.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you know, Mason, I'm just going to give this to you. John, get it out.
Yeah, I do agree with you with Jessup on this one.
Good thing we haven't officially started the podcast.
This is true. We haven't officially dropped the green flag.
We don't know
Okay.
this, John, because we haven't really actually done anything.
This
For
is
all I know, we've probably cut it out twice.
Wanted to say the lighting in John's room tonight looks very nice, and it makes his complexion and his face look really nice
I
tonight.
gotta say.
Thank
I
you.
agree
You know,
with
Becca,
that.
I've been working on my facial expressions as well as my appearance because most of the time I was so miserable around people that I really had to fix my ability to shine these days. And now I'm definitely radiating more than what I've radiated in the
You have a
past.
certain glow about you.
Yes. And
Listen,
it's
I don't
not even that
understand
I'm
why
expecting.
you're waving that flag. I was being genuinely honest.
So, anyways, I'm doing good too, Mason. You didn't really ask me before you cut me off and cut my previous two comments. So, I'm doing really good. All things considered, I'm with my friends. We're going to talk about racing stuff. We're going to probably have a lot of stuff chopped out because it's not appropriate, and I'm going to laugh. And I'm probably going to feed some softballs for John because it's McQuaid's weekend, and we're going to hit it out of the park. And we're gonna really want to hit some stuff and people. I mean, stuff.
Well, to be fair, the way this race was supposed to go, Becca, your equipment's going to be pushing it to the max because for starting parks, you're in this
You're
for
really-
a long stint.
You're really in for a stint for sure.
I told you I'd be here till 11.
Okay.
That's my curfew. That's my Cinderella curfew. So
Cinderella Kirby.
Well,
And-
Mason,
Drop the green flag.
John, go
well,
ahead.
Mason, for myself, I am doing very good. I had to go back to parts unknown this week. I was a little too vocal and exciting this weekend. So so it was back to parts unknown for me. As once again, I am traveling for work, so I am out of the Bismarck area this week over here. And this week I'm actually down where there's some slot machines. I am actually down in Vegas for work this week.
Las Vegas, New Mexico.
So I have went through there before. Let's just say that it does not compare to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Is there
That's
Las
kinda
Vegas,
like-
New Mexico? I thought it was
Oh my
Las
God, Mason,
Cruces.
it's a dump.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's a dump.
Dang. It's like you and I all traded spots because I actually, for work, I went over to Bismarck today and then just came back. So nice to be back with all you and to relive some of the fun stuff from the weekend and get to relive with some of it with you, race fans and podcast listeners. Thank you for supporting us on the Track Packers podcast. Just a couple quick shout outs. Doug Sattler, thank you for checking us out. And thank you to, oh my gosh, I lost the document. Hang on. I'm sorry.
there's an agenda.
There is an agenda.
There's a game with this?
I even shared it every week.
What is an
I,
agenda?
I wanted to give a shout out to Brock Widener because we saw him at the
Hey,
High
oh,
Limits
yes,
show.
Rocky.
Yeah.
Oh, Brock, he's the best.
He
Yeah,
is the best.
I wonder if Brock's going to go on tour a little bit because he usually tries to hit up some races on tour.
I wonder
Saw him at the High Limit show a few weeks ago.
if we did.
Gave him a hug.
It was almost like an announcer reunion with like the Ericksons, and then we are just missing John.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, I was not there. I was missing out.
You
He
were.
was Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Yes. Why don't we get things started with the waving of the green flag and get right into who or what we are repping for episode 11 of season 5. John, who or what are you repping?
Well, Becca kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier in the podcast, but you know what's coming up here pretty quick? It's Dakota Classic Modified Tour time. It starts on July 5th over at the Dacotah Speedway in Minot, so it's going to be 1 week from this upcoming Sunday. And also, we're going to have a lot of fun on tour. I'm going to hit up a couple events. Again, because of work stuff, I won't be able to hit the whole on tour up. But I will be there for a couple events, and it's a little bit different this year. It's going to be starting on Sunday, the 5th in Minot, and it'll be ending the 10th of July on a Friday over in Jamestown. So Jamestown flipped from being the opener to being championship night this year for the tour.
Why not
Excellent
just
shirt.
open it at Minot? Why not?
Why not? It used to be the opener for several years.
It did.
It's one of my favorite races up at Nodak throughout the whole year, so I'm looking forward to that race as well. kind of going with the theme of Mod Tour, I saw Brody Carlsrud just recently registered for the Dakota Classic Modified Tour in his stock car, so going to be fun to see him on tour. And also a theme of the tour, hopefully, and even Becca's going to love this, hopefully we see a lot of sunshine and probably going to be some warm and hot temperatures, so why not rep sunshine? Tyler Courtney in the 7BC. This is one of the shirts I got at the High Limit show. I like the simple front, and then the back is also kind of simple. So that is who or what I am repping for this episode. Jessup, who or what are you repping?
Well, I got a shirt at the same place Mason got, and it's blue as well. But it is for Gio Selsley, Hot Sauce, for Inspire Motorsports. And I'm just going to do this because why not? This is going to be a new trend for the year.
You're pretty good at this.
Yeah. And then we're just going to go like this.
Ooh, I like that back. I really do.
Yeah. It's Chili's. You know, I wish we had a Chili's. I've never really ate at Chili's before.
Really? I've been to Chili's multiple times. Very good.
No, I've never been. I don't even know where the closest one is.
Fargo.
Fargo has one.
Is there one in Fargo?
There's one in the mall in Fargo.
Yeah.
Mason, you need to take us there. Why don't you never take us to these fancy places so we can support the sponsors?
Now, Mason, I'm going to stand up or stick up for you here too, because that would require the Pelkeys to go to Fargo more to visit you.
That's not no.
Hey, he's
Getting
got
a caution,
point.
both of you. Mm-hmm. Mason, have I been to Fargo to see you?
Yes, but not as often as I've been to Bismarck to see you so far this year.
See?
How many times have you been to Bismarck this year, Mason?
At least 3.
I've been to Fargo at least 3.
Well, it looks like we're at a draw here.
Let's see. We went to Grand Forks. We went to Fargo. We went to another Fargo event when we drove through.
Mason,
You
they didn't
tell
come
me?
to you, though.
You didn't even tell me on that one.
Yeah, we called you and you wouldn't respond.
Baloney.
Yes, we
Baloney
did.
on that.
So, Mason, I count 3-2 in favor of you.
Thank you.
No, John is full of it. No.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'm always full of it.
Yeah.
You get a caution too for
That is
questionable
true.
auditing of my numbers.
Moving on to Becca. Who or what are you repping? Cool shirt, by the way, Jessup.
Yes, just about like that one.
Thank you.
So I did tune into last week's podcast. I listened to it at work. I didn't watch it, and I didn't realize John wore this driver last week. My bad. But this guy just signed up on tour. He's going to be doing double duty both in the IMCA stock car and in the IMCA modified. Glad to see him come back on tour because last I was there when he swore he would not come back on tour. I was there in the pit area. So I am glad to see Cole Charneski come back on tour. Super pumped to see him come through in the registrations this week. He was announced on the Dakota Classic Modified Tour page. He's got some awesome gear. I got this the last time he was on tour. I can't wait to see what he's got this year for merchandise. He's also just a great driver. He's won a lot of big shows in IMCA World, both in the stock car and the modified. I can't wait to see what he does on the Dakota Classic Modified Tour. He's got a year under his belt. Granted, that was many years ago. I think
I know what he's going to do. He's going to race.
I just think he'll probably be a little bit stronger than he was that first year that he was on tour running these tracks for the first time. So
I agree.
I think so. I expect big things out of Cole Charneski. I can't wait to see how he does, and I just can't wait for Dakota Classic Modified Tour. Speaking of Dakota Classic Modified Tour, do we want to share my screen? I can show you a sneak peek at some of the drivers who will be racing on tour. These are the drivers who have registered so far. So we are looking here at our IMCA Modified drivers so far.
Oh, did you, Scotty?
Yes. Scotty Gartner's gonna be on tour. He'll be doing double duty as we will see as we scroll down the list. We had some new drivers sign up this week. I know I mentioned earlier I'd reach out to Jeff Taylor. He did sign up this week. So Cole,
who's this mysterious Travis Hagen guy?
Was announced earlier this week. Obviously, Cole Charneski was announced earlier this week. But yeah, there's big names, some usual names that are on tour pretty often. I'm glad to see Drew Jansen come back on tour. He's been on the tour the last couple of years, but as a pitman for various drivers. He did very well the last time he actually raced on tour, so I'm glad to see him actually back behind the wheel. So super pumped about that. And then we have our stock car drivers. Again, there's quite a few drivers doing double duty. Scotty Gartner is one of them. Gabe DeShaw is another, and obviously Cole Cerneski, who just signed up earlier this week. Those are a few of those drivers who have been announced doing double duty. But yeah, some big names, and super duper excited.
Ooh, David Moriarty. He was on the tour
years ago.
2012, 2013, something like that, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to see how Brandon Bombardo does. He's been on the Tougher Than Dirt Tour in an IMCA hobby stock.
Who's
Has
Andy
won the
Morris?
Tougher Than Dirt Tour championship, so I'm excited to see how he does with a stock car on these tracks here in North Dakota and Nesson.
I don't know Andy Morris. That name I'm not familiar with, Jessup.
I'm not either.
That is a cool, diverse list.
Mm-hmm.
And still,
Yeah.
Stock car list is
bit of
really
time.
good.
And there's still a few
Back to
names
the
missing.
mods.
And
Slow down.
there's,
Oh,
there's still a few names missing, like an Eddie Bellick. Blanking on drivers that would
Well,
typically
Ricky
on tour,
Alvarado kind
but,
of shows up last minute, doesn't he, on the
Oh yeah,
race?
Ricky Alvarado, Eddie Bellick.
Yeah, there's a few drivers who are tour staples who just haven't signed up for the tour yet. So I suspect a lot of our locals will all race the tour as well, especially with the Hometown Heroes program that the tour is doing. So that will be the highest points driver who did not make the A main through the heat races or the B mains, the highest driver in the local point standings at the tracks. They will get a provisional start at the home tracks. So there's that program coming. So I hope to see a lot of the local drivers sign up and not only race their home track, but also race a few of the tracks, if not all the tracks on tour, just because this is right here in our backyard. I know some drivers in the past, like Travis Ulmer, have driven back and forth between the tracks to work his main job and then leave early to go to the next track. So while I know a lot of drivers take the whole week off as a little racing vacation, I do hope and wish that our local drivers will come on tour, support the tour, and race multiple races on tour.
Yes, yeah, coming up very soon, just in a couple of weeks. So it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a fun week and to have a lot of new drivers and new blood to see how they fare up against the local competition up here. So thanks for sharing that, Becca. And thank you for joining us for the podcast tonight. We'll see you hopefully on the next episode. So we've lost Becca, but we're going to continue on with the show and move on to the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind. Give a shout out to Hot Sauce in the 12S Isaac Sondrol 12S IMCA Modified. Ran a pair of races this past weekend at Mandan and up in Minot. Pair of top 10. So solid weekend for the 12S. Hopefully getting set to go on tour and get that Sondrol snack shop up and running. Be sure to follow his racing at 12S Racing on Facebook. And if you see him at all at the racetrack in the pits, stop by and say hi. One of the nicest people and families to talk to. And thank you, Isaac, for supporting us on the podcast. Jessup, what do you have for us on the Hot Sauce segment this week?
well, we're continuing on with 2003 late model rapid fire. So, are we ready?
We're ready. Keith Foss.
Very good, John. Good pull.
Ooh.
I don't even know where he's from.
Winona.
Minnesota.
Where?
Winona, Minnesota.
Yep.
He races a mod now.
Yeah. Cool.
Dan Hendrickson.
Henriksen.
Hendrickson. Very good, John. Where is he from?
Rapid City.
Oh, all right. Look at you guys.
He might be in Montana now, but close enough.
Just we can't see the number.
It's a 98.
Oh,
What do you mean you can't see the number? It's the whole screen.
Yeah, I was going to say, John.
I'm on my phone, Jessup.
You know what, John? Hold on 1 second. There's your caution. That's a lie.
98.
Jessup, I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
Jason Schoenfield?
I don't know that one.
I don't know him either. Well, we're moving on. If we don't know him, I don't know how to say this guy's name either.
99. That font looks familiar, but it's a hard number to read.
I'm gonna just say this name. It's Greg Folkier?
I don't know that one either.
I don't know him either. I don't see anything in the background to really give us any hints. Well, we're moving on. I think this is a Wisconsin guy.
Never seen that car either.
Mark Hessler?
I
Oh.
know that name.
Yes.
I'll say he
from
races
the
number
Red Cedar area.
13.
Yep, I know that name. Yep.
All right, let's pick it back up. We're going to get this one. Bang!
That might be Justin Fagers.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure about that.
Yeah, well, you'd be right.
That would be Bob Slater.
Yes. Not Greg Ferris.
That is Chris Johnson,
Very good, John. Where's Chris Johnson from?
Rapid City area.
Okay. You could totally be lying, and I'd go with it.
That is Tony Barr.
Very good, you two. What gave it away? The legendary QQ? 2Q?
QQ.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
Is that
Chris-
Tommy Thompson?
Chris Thompson.
I don't know that one. I just know it was
That's-
Thompson.
I say, is that Dave McDonald's trailer though next to it though? 52X.
Coyote Racing. Last but not least, this person still races. He was only
Oh,
probably,
Rich Thomas.
he was probably only like I
He's
don't know how old
in his
he was.
80s, isn't he now?
I was gonna say he was probably only like 70 during this photo, but
Yeah, he's up there in age. Yep, still racing though, which is pretty cool.
it's cool seeing him out there racing.
It is.
Here's your NASCAR one. I want driver and year.
Is that Jimmy Johnson?
It is.
In 2000 and
4.
no, I would say 2000. That's actually 2000, I think. Either 2000 or 2001.
It's
Might be
2001.
Okay.
Yep.
I just remember by the body style on the back spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might have had this. He might have had this scheme for a couple races in 2000. I think it was more of the blue, white, and red Altel scheme.
Yeah.
Okay, I just have 3. John has 4. This driver still races with the same number.
Zimmerman.
Is that Kelly Hendrickson?
No, this is a Minnesota driver.
Oh,
Huh. I don't know this, Mason.
Races in the super stocks over in the Ogilvie and Princeton area.
Chris Ward. Chris.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct. And last one from me.
Mark Martini?
Is that Mark Martini?
Yep, Bud Martini. Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
he still races too?
Yep.
I always pick
Yep.
him.
Yep. Quick, easy 3. Now I got. Oh, I copied that one twice. Oh, dang it. Wish Becca was still here for these, actually.
Oh, she'd probably get these ones.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
All right, first one.
Oh, I should know this.
You should know this. Currently races a stock car.
Oh. Go ahead, Sean.
Jordan Zilmer?
Yeah.
Well, these are John's submissions.
I know, that's why I know him.
Oh, attaboy, John.
I was going to take full credit for that.
Okay.
I thought we were still doing Masons. 3D.
No, these are John's. Sorry.
Ugh.
If you get this one, I'll be surprised, Jessup.
I'll
Mason,
pass.
do you know who this is, Mason?
I think this is Ross Dixon.
It is.
I was not getting that, boys.
I didn't think you were. That's an Aberdeen area super stock.
That is none other than the Ross Dixon.
Very
Correct.
good. Any guesses, Jessup?
Yeah, the 71 looks familiar. 25, I'm drawing a blank here. Is that Mike Jans?
It is.
It is.
Okay, so the 70, the one that looks familiar, I can't think here. Majors. 71 is a popular number. I'll pass on 71. Go ahead, Mason.
Is this Justin Tammon?
It is.
That's
Okay.
I
That is
knew
a
it.
nice scheme by Mike Jans, by the way.
He ran that for a lot of years.
I did not even see Jans on the bottom of the door.
I mean, there's Jans there. There's Jans here on the.
Jans on the
Lots of
pillar.
chances on that.
Jans on the pillar is what gave it to me.
That's
The
hilarious.
one on the bottom of the car. I was oblivious. Ooh, 27.
Last one of John's.
This looks familiar. Go ahead,
It really,
Mason.
it really stinks that Becca's not here for this one.
Becca needs to be here for this one.
Why here?
Well, this driver is now retired.
Yes, Becca's excited about that.
Oh God, I know this one. Is it JL?
Yes, it is.
It's Jerry Lamb. I mean, I like that scheme from Jerry. He's even
What
got
is it?
tri-county lanes on there.
It looks nice.
Is that at
Becca would
Casino
say
Speedway as
otherwise.
well?
That was a Wasota modified at I-94.
Or I-94, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Good selections, John. Way to come up with a few on the
That
fly
hurts.
while you're out in parts unknown. Well, there you have it for the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind this week, and we'll move into our track pack report courtesy of Paul Bunyan Mini Storage and Dean Eggebraaten and his whole crew. Remember, you can store it all with Paul. They have 3 convenient locations around the Bemidji area for any size storage needs, whether it's just seasonal or you need some area to store your precious belongings and trinkets. Get a hold of them. They got climate-controlled units, all different sizes for whatever you need storage. Again, Paul Bunyan Mini Storage out of Bemidji. Thank you for supporting us on the Track Packers, and hopefully I'll be up in their neck of the woods to kind of network with Dean a little bit, see if we can get a little storage unit for our stuff at some point. So, our track pack report, we were a lot of different places this weekend. I'm going to kick things off with Norman County on this past Thursday as they featured the NLRA late models once again with a nice solid field, a 27 late models, and then also 21 Midwest mods. That car count, they've been talking about it the last couple weeks. It's really cool to see that car count grow in that class. It's basically doubled from last year, so that's really cool to see in lieu of a really cool event coming up this week. Legends kicked off feature action.
Smackdown.
Well, it's a
WM
smackdown.
Smack around.
It's more of a brawl this week.
Well, what do you think a SmackDown is? It's nothing but a brawl. We're going to have all the entries and one winner for each division, Mason. It's going to be great.
I'm actually really interested to see how this plays out.
I bet we're going to see some monster trucking.
You might. You actually might. There was actually, I think, an incident in the Midwest Mods where one car monster trucked another in a wreck.
Nice.
So, it's entirely possible. Legends kicked off feature racing action with a fun race. Of course, you had hot shoes such as Ryan Brosseth and Ty Wilkie up in the mix, along with Owen Broden and Howie Briss battling at the front. And Brosseth got to lead first, and then Wilkie from his 10th starting position got to the lead and had to hold off a late challenge from Brosseth to get the feature win. So Ty Wilkie continuing to rack up wins in the NX Legends. Midwest Modifieds, who have had struggles to complete their entire feature race without a litany of cautions, had a pretty good race this time around. It was Corey Stork on the pole that led the way, and he had a bunch of heavy hitters behind him, including the Scows, Aaron Blacklands, Jory Berg, and Reese Stenberg. And Corey had pretty much outserved the entirety of that race. Reese Stenberg tried to track him down, just was not closing quite quick enough by the time the checkered flag rolled around. So Corey Stork getting his first win of the season. So congratulations to Corey on the win. Wissota late models, again, like I said, 27 cars. They had to run a B main and whittle it down to 24. And the front row consisted of Joey Peterson and also Nick Corbett. And those two ran side by side for the first few laps of that race before Joey took control. And then they had a long green flag run where Joey opened up the gap. But as the track slipped off, drivers such as Cole Schill and Dustin Strand were tracking him down through lap traffic. And Cole actually got underneath them and led for a brief moment before Joey took the lead back. And then he had to hold off one last charge for the last few laps. And Joey Peterson getting his first win since 2023. So big congrats out to Joey Peterson for getting the win in the late models. That was a very, very popular win. Then the last two races of the evening came down to pretty much photo finishes. The hobby stocks, it was a battle between Brad Jones and Reed Randall as they duked it out side by side and interchanged the lead. And Brad Jones won by a nose cone over Reed Randall in 95. And Brad, that is his first NCR win. So big congrats out to Brad, who comes all the way from New Ulm, Minnesota. So 3-hour plus travel for him every week he comes up. And the sport mods finished off feature racing action. Jaden Pavlicek led from the drop of the green flag, basically. And Andy Spud Wagner tracked him down from the 8th starting position, took the lead with just about 2 laps to go, and he would get the feature win. So closed off a very exciting night of racing over at the Norman County Raceway as they prepare for a big week coming up, and also the World of Outlaw late models coming the next week as well. So big week coming up over in Ada, Minnesota. So then that moves over into Friday and the Dacotah Speedway taking place with racing action. What all happened at the Dacotah Speedway, Jessup?
Well, me and John are going to tag team this thing. This was a good week of racing. We had the legendary tour, and it was quite legendary because there was a lot of stuff happening throughout the night. There was flips, there were fires, there was a fight. John was late to the call for the fight, but don't worry, Dacotah Speedway TV got the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome. It's very clear and evident of what broke down. But, John, let's talk about the slingshots first. It was a good race.
Yes, the slingshots were a very good race. Just that they were battling hard up front, and it was Landon Hogren who picked up a win.
It was. Do we remember who got second?
Was it Caden Davenport?
Was it? I think it was. No, it wasn't. It was. I can't remember. It was Turnbull who got. No, she
had problems on coming out of turn 4 at one point.
That was weird.
It was Caden.
He was doing really good.
Yep, it was Caden, and then Haley Keller was third.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Too many things were happening for me to remember. So, going forth, the Bombers had a good race.
They did. It was kind of a battle just between Josh Rourke and Derek Abbott.
Yeah, it was. Go on, John.
Yep, and it was Josh Rourke that made the pass for the win with just a few laps remaining and picked up another win at Dacotah Speedway. Also closed up the points difference there, too, because Seth Howe Keller had some problems. Actually ended up in a fire in the infield after the race.
That was our fire for the night.
That was our fire. And finished in 11th. So that points battle has went very close. It's very, very close up.
It was a good battle throughout the whole night. Usually, in order to be the winner of a race, you do have to pass. Unless you start on the pole, then you don't have to pass.
Yes.
But we're glad that Seth was okay from the fire. It was a rear end fire. Not sure what actually started out there, but we can't tell that far from, being in the infield and being up in the tower or on top of the grandstands. But it was pretty noticeable.
Yeah. Then, Jessup, we moved on to the Legends, and we had 52 Legends for night 2 of the Legendary Tour. Yes, that car count has grown and has become quite large these days. And that was a good battle up front between Austin Wiest and Preston Martin, kind of the two drivers that have been very hot this season. in our local neck of the woods.
I was really impressed by the Wisconsin driver.
Yes, that Talon Newman. Talon was
Yes.
a great. He's only 15.
Yeah, he looked really good.
He's really good out east. Really good.
And his family is super nice. I talked to actually his grandma and grandpa in the grandstands over in Jamestown on Saturday. I caught them in the grandstand, so I talked to them for a while. And they the Molines that came up as well. They follow they're kind of very good friends with the Newman clan, and they were all together up here for the tour, and it was kind of nice to have all those drivers up here.
Yeah, it's fun to see a different group of drivers come in and invade our tracks and
Yep.
see how our local drivers can handle the pressure from outsiders.
Yep. And it was interesting to watch that battle too, because Austin held off Preston for about 16 of the 20 laps, and Preston got around him through turns 1 and 2 in the middle and picked up a win and kind of solidified himself, obviously, as one of the contenders for the legendary tour as a whole during basically this past week. Austin was second. Ty Olson moved his way up to third.
Yep.
And then we went to the stock cars, and they went clean and green. And it was Matt Dosh who picked up a big win over Jason Berg and Jeff Hellman in the 54. So kind of an interesting battle there between those top three. But yeah, the stock car race was very clean and went clean green to checker here for the 20-lap event. It took like, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, somewhere there.
Yeah, it was nice. It didn't take very long. It was a very fluid and fast racing the whole time, and it was definitely fun to see.
Yep. And then we went to the modifieds, which was kind of an interesting race too, because some of your top guys in points, like Sean Strand, got kind of damaged, I think, on a restart and actually didn't even finish that race. So the points have kind of shaken up. But Chris Pittenger was gone from the start of that green flag stretch. Track was pretty quick, and he ended up being the winner, his first win in Mandan in the modifieds. And congratulations to Chris for that hard-fought victory.
Yep, and the Chicken Nuggy Buggy
Was second
place, which is Scotty's best. I think that's his best finish.
Best finish in Mandan in a mod.
Mandan.
Yep, best finish in Mandan in a mod. Yep.
I remember talking with Scotty just before the year, and he's like, all I want to do is just make the tech area in Mandan. That was his main goal.
Yep. 115 total cars, Jessup, a pretty good field of cars.
It was definitely a fun night of racing there. And then we can't forget, there was a fight.
Oh, yes. We had the
totally
Legends fight
spaced that
during
out.
the feature.
Unfortunately, those individuals one of the individuals will be suffering some ramifications of their actions, and it won't be strictly local. It will be a NX nationwide ramification. So that's unfortunate for that individual, but we got to be smart with our behaviors and actions. And if we make poor decisions, sometimes, you got to pay.
Yeah, there's consequences for actions, right? So that would be where that was at.
But overall, good night.
Yeah, overall it was a very interesting night because track had some moisture in it, so there was definitely racing kind of all over it, and it was definitely a fast night at the track.
Yep, it's fun to see Dacotah Speedway with a fast track. We're used to a little slower track with a more slip and slide with the dry slick conditions, but lately it's been almost
a little different.
Almost dare say hammer down.
Yeah,
but
a little different than what we're used to.
Yeah, it's fun to see that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Nice to change things up a little bit, and the racing action picking up, and seeing some different folks at the front of the field battling for wins, which is always good to see. Nice. So that was Friday night over in Mandan. I was over in Minnesota, central Minnesota, for the entire weekend, and I will apologize to the folks out there. My main focus this weekend was a street stock tour, and so this is a kind of a different weekend for me because since I was focused on them, I didn't really record most of the features throughout the weekend. I was kind of busy being tour promoter, so this track packer report I'm going to kind of abbreviate just because I didn't see every single feature. So,
well, and also Mason, you guys were kind of battling some weather stuff too this weekend a little bit from various times, so it makes sense.
Yeah, Friday was very uncertain. That Princeton was the first night of the Street Stock Tour swing that I was following, and I was driving through weather the entire way down, and they got a shot of rain at 5 o'clock, and then another shot about 45 minutes later, and they're basically waited to make a call until 6:15, 6:20, and they're like, nope, we're still going to try to work this in, and they got the show in. So kudos to the track prep crew. They kind of waited. They knew rain was coming. And so we didn't get started until about 8:30, but they clicked through the program. We got done about 11 o'clock, so about 2.5 hours to run through the entire show. So hats off to the people at Princeton Speedway for making that work. Again, Dirt Race Central Street Stock Tour, the main focus for me this weekend. They did have most of their regular classes running. Just going through the winners real quick. Super Stocks, Dexton Cook holding off Dan Salke. Midwest Mods, that went to Jason Van de Kamp. I believe he won. Oh no, Ryan Putnam stayed close to him, but it was about a half lap back to third. And both those races went caution free. So that tells you how quick the track was and how fast they were moving through the program. Street Stocks were third on deck, and it was a battle up front between the 04 Tommy Pagonis and the 21 Jim Gullickson, as Tommy was holding off after several restarts, but then it came down to one last restart where Jim pulled alongside him. They ran side by side for a good couple laps before Tommy got tight in turns 1 and 2 with 2 to go. And so Jim made the winning pass and got his second career Street Stock Tour win. So congratulations to the 21 Jim Gullickson holding off Tommy Pagonis, and Cody Coomer in the 12 machine finished in third. Then in the modifieds, they went clean and green where Travis Schulte held off Clayton Wagman and Blake Adams to get the feature win there. In the Crown Vics, it was, let me find it again, Hunter Morris from Hibbing, Minnesota, making a long trip down, getting the feature win there. Connor Bruss was the winner in the Wissota Mod 4s, and Marshall Willing got his first career micro sprint feature win on Friday. So that was your action at Princeton. I'll just finish off my stuff before we get to you guys in Jamestown. Ogilvie, so they had a lot of rain from the night before. I believe some people said 2 inches worth of rain plus hail. So we kind of kid around that like Ogilvie, Raceway, and Dacotah Speedway are pretty similar with the way their track is laid out. It really is slick and smooth from top to bottom. The track that night had a lot of character. We'll just say that. And it was speedy all night, especially once the sun went down. And so there was some quick lap times being set, and thankfully not too much carnage with how the track was with all the character, but you could definitely tell it was definitely different than what the drivers there were used to. The first two feature races went caution-free. Midwest Mods, Jake Smith got the feature win. He won by 7.5 seconds.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he was cruising. He cruised to the feature win over Joey Wagaman and Ben Lewis. Late models, another caution-free affair, and the Dirt Essential highlight. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out because it was Billy Kendall trying to hold off Cole Schill, and then also Tyler Peterson, who started 13th. Started 13th on the field, and he passed both Cole and Billy with just a couple laps to go in a caution-free race to get the feature win. That was an insane late model race. Hats off to Tyler Peterson. He thrives on tracks with a lot of character and a lot of moisture, so that wasn't a big surprise to me, but to do it in a caution-free race, pretty great. Street Stocks, they had 21 Street Stocks on hand for the tour, and it was Parker Anderson who got to lead a few laps in. He pretty much held control in the lead, and behind him it was a 2-3 wide battle. You had Tommy Pagonis, Jim Gullickson, Cameron Rose swapping positions, and it was a fun race to watch, and those Street Stocks were three-wheeling and bouncing on two wheels at multiple points. It was kind of crazy to watch from the infield, all the wheelies that were being kind of executed. But Parker Anderson getting the feature win there in the Street Stocks. Hornets went to Nathaniel Penny in the 2X machine, and the Super Stocks went to Dexton Cook in the 78K after he swapped the lead through a whole bunch of bumps with Castripa kind of getting up on two wheels as well. And the modifieds, Landon Atkinson and Jody Belfi had a heck of a battle railing the top side, and Landon Atkinson came out on top with that one. And then the final night of the weekend was at the Granite City Motor Park. Again, Street Stock to our hand. 20 cars there, so a very solid field of cars with a couple of surprises. Mike Jans and Sean Amundsen came over. Those were two pleasant surprises to see. In the late models, Dave Moss got the feature win to kick off feature racing action. And then in the Crown Vics, it was Daryl Hart, I want to say is his name. Daryl Harth, sorry, in the 24H and Nicole Trickle look-alike. Then the Street Stocks came out. And let's just say this race was interesting on multiple levels. The racing itself was excellent. The track was smooth from top to bottom. They were racing 2, 3, 4 wide at points. Several lead changes. We had Braden Fleck battling side by side with Jeff Ekdahl to start the first few laps. They would exchange the lead for a little bit. Ekdahl unfortunately got in the back of Fleck and spun him around, and so he had to tag the rear. But then Tommy Bagonis inherited the lead after a restart, and they kind of went on a long green flag run until a caution with just a couple laps to go. Parker Anderson and Levi Rant got together and set up a one-lap shootout. And in that last lap, Levi made one last-ditch effort to get a run on the high side to pull alongside of Pagonis heading into turn 3. The two made some contact, and then both of them went up the hill in turn 4, and they met at the wall. And it ended up with Tommy sideways across the line with Levi pushing him across, and a whole ordeal for the crew at Grant City to sort out. You know, do we call someone for the caution? How do we score this with everyone crossing and slowing up? So it was a little bit of a lengthy stoppage trying to figure out what to do. They decided to leave the scoring as is and go back to the last completed lap, to which Tommy Bagonis was the leader and Levi finished in second. Mike Jans finished in third, his first time back at the Grand City Motor Park in the 25 since 2013. So nice showing for Mike Jans, but a very wild and very entertaining street stock race. Modifieds went to Blake Adams, not a big surprise there in the 40 machine. Chad Funt was the winner in the Mod 4s, and then in the Hornets, it was, who won the Hornets? See, this is how much I was tuning in the features outside of the street stocks. Austin Jacobson, the 29A. And so that was your racing for me over in central Minnesota this weekend. Finish off the Track Pack report with Jamestown on Saturday.
I was going to say, John, he skipped us.
It's okay. He left us for last, the best for last.
If you read the agenda, I put you guys as last.
What's an agenda?
I think it's one of those outlaw, things.
Like an outlaw hornet?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Buzz.
Thanks.
Sorry, Mason.
Well, Jessup, you were over in Jamestown on Saturday night too, and did you have a good time?
I did. We got to bring the whole family over. It was Becca's first race back at Jamestown in over, a year and a half?
About a year and a half. Well, since Mod Tour, yeah. So about a year.
So pretty long time. So she was excited to get back and see people and catch up with people, and everyone was very welcoming of her to be back. So that was super nice. Then, we had Riley there. People know most of our story about Jamestown and what it means to our family, and it's really just fun to be back there, and it just means a lot to us. So just going into the night, it was good to be there.
Yep. And Mason, for the Track Packer report, for me, it was a busy night overall. 138 total cars on Saturday night, so a very large field of cars. 44 legends for the Legendary Tour on night 3, so really a large field of cars for the legends. But let's start off with your slingshot division. We had 10 slingshots in attendance on Saturday night. Some travelers, which was kind of cool to see. And it was the Keller sisters that were kind of in charge of that race for most of it. And Haley led a lot of that race. They had a caution with only a couple laps remaining. And on the restart, it was Libby Keller who passed her sister Haley and had to hold off Landon Hallgren to pick up her first ever win. So that was kind of exciting to see for Libby Keller. She was excited down in victory lane. Her dad was extremely excited. Her dad's Jeremy Keller. down there in Victory Lane as well. So congratulations to Libby and congratulations to Landon on the runner-up. Your Bombers. It was night 3 of the Mary Vetter Challenge, and 28 drivers checked in the Bombers. So back-to-back weeks with 28 drivers in the Bombers over in Jamestown, and it was a race of attrition a little bit. There was definitely some beating and banging in the Bomber division, and it was Kelly Horner who picked up a big win in Jamestown, and actually he is now points leader for the Mary Vetter Challenge going into this Friday over at the Dacotah Speedway. So, and also back up here a little bit too, Jamestown's track was a little bit different than normal Jamestown a little bit on Saturday night too, wasn't it, Jessup? It was definitely, when it started coming up from the bottom, the moisture did, because they had rain too throughout the week. So they actually had quite a bit of rain, especially overnight from Thursday night into like Friday morning. They got shot of rain again on Friday afternoon. And the track held a lot of moisture in it, and it came up when the heats were out there.
Yeah, it sounded like when I was talking with Scotty Gartner earlier in the week that I think it was Friday night I was talking with him, but it sounded like Jamestown had gotten rain just about every single day, anywhere from a quarter inch to a half inch of rain each day, and that adds up. And if the temperatures aren't like super warm and it's not super windy, you're not going to dry it out as quick as you think it's going to be. But the track itself, it was fascinating, John. From where I was looking, it looked like the straightaways were slick, and the corners. It's been a while since I've seen the tack push out from the entrance of the corners as far as they were, because it was almost a third of the way down of the track. Each front stretch or back stretch. When you go into 1 and into 3, it was like a third of the way down the track before the tack was actually making itself very present and very noticeable.
Yep. I would 100% agree with that, Jessup. And the track had some character, right? So it was definitely through the middle part of the track, you could definitely tell, which honestly throughout the night kind of smoothed itself out. I mean, it wasn't all the way smooth by any means, right? There was definitely roughness there. But it created multiple grooves for racing, because you could go below it, you could go above it, and you could be like almost right in it. So there was definitely like 3 to 4 lanes of racing, and you could tell as the night kept going on, because the track kept getting racier and racier and racier as the night went. So Bombers were Kelly Horner again in the 28 that won, in the 21 that won out of the 28 car field. Then the Midwest Mods came out, and we had 20 Midwest Mods, and it was Jason Grimes who picked up the win. His first one in Jamestown in about, I want to say, Mason, I think it was about almost 8 years.
Really?
So it's been 7 to 8 years since he's last won in Jamestown.
Oh.
So it's been quite a while. So Jason picked up a win. Nice to see him back in victory lane over Jaron Wimstead, and some hard-fought battles in that one too. Also, we have to give our well wishes to Brian Hansen Jr. He smacked the back straightaway wall hard in that 9 junior machine, and had a bad wreck back there. Hopefully get the car put back together and be back out here in a couple weeks. But yeah, he had there. And we also had some travelers. It was nice to see Reese Stenberg back after finishing runner-up over in Ferguson, runner-up in Ada for Thursday and Friday. And then he started deeper in the field, 13th, and ended up 7th within the feature event. So nice to see that Reese came over. And then in your Legends, it was your Legends Tour. And that was an entertaining race because they were kind of all over the track. There was drivers up in the berm. There was drivers that were running through a little bit of the rough stuff. There was drivers right below the rough stuff. And then there was drivers way on the bottom of the track. And it was a battle between Noah Badler and Andrew Bargman. Noah started on the front row and then ended up getting the lead back with just a few laps in there. And Noah led for like 14 straight laps until the last lap. Bargman got a run out of turn 2 on the bottom. And they made a little bit of contact going in 3 and 4 because they were both going for the same piece of real estate. And Bargman ended up winning the race with a drag race to the line. So congratulations to Bargman for picking up a win over in Jamestown. It was one of his sponsors, Dacotah Spirit, that was ended up sponsoring the night. So that was kind of cool to see too, that he ended up in victory lane with his sponsor also being sponsor of the night. And then behind them, a really good battle because there was a lot of 3-wide and 4-wide racing happening. And third place was a battle between Gage Madler and Preston Martin the whole time. Gage next to the wall, Preston running the high side. And they were side by side for about the last 10 to 15 laps. So that was kind of cool to see. Then we move into the Wissota Street Stocks. So they did a little bit of track prep. They watered the top, they watered the bottom. And we got green, and what a race within your street stocks. They went clean and green, 20 laps. And it was a very clean battle to where you had Cole Gresseth, who started on the pole. And I was like, okay, Cole's starting on the pole. He's probably going to be gone. Well, Cole got out to about a 2.5 second lead, and Casey Eustatus channeled his inner Jeff Gordon and used the high line and took that lead down to nothing and got right on the back bumper of Cole, as Eustatus was a little bit quicker on the high side. Cole was on the bottom. And then they battled hard through lap traffic, very clean for through lap traffic the last couple of laps. And it was Cole that edged Casey at the line for the win in the 19J or 19G, sorry. And in that 19G machine, he actually picked up his 12th win of the year over in Jamestown on Saturday night. So that was kind of cool to see. And then your modifieds came out. We had 17 street stocks, by the way, in attendance. We had 19 IMCA modifieds. And we had some travelers this week, which was kind of nice to see. And Jessup, what did you think of the mod race?
It was a pleasant change from the earlier races in the night, as there were minimal cautions.
Very minimal cautions.
And the last two features, minimal cautions.
Very minimal
cautions. Good. And they were very good races overall. But the mods were really fun. There was a lot of battling all the way through the field. And then it was almost like watching some of our travelers just take advantage of the cautions that did happen and the attrition and work their way up to a higher finishing position than where you probably would have thought they would have finished. And main travelers I noticed, I noticed whenever Mandan Dacotah Speedway racers travel elsewhere, because the common complaint from people is, well, they never travel. Ooh. And the common response to me is, well, from me is usually is, well, do you really want them to travel? Because when they travel, they usually end up doing rather well. And we always love seeing our drivers travel, because it's fun to see your, I would say, home location, home track drivers flex their muscle against other drivers at their home tracks. And it gives you a good gauge of like, oh, they're really good, or they got our track figured out. And this would be another night of, oh, they're actually really good, as Sean Strand got I would say a rather popular victory, because I don't know too many people who don't really like Sean.
Correct. I think it's Sean's personality, his driving style, right? With a lot of stuff going on. Sean's very much a people person. He talks to a lot of people in the pits. He's had a lot of reputation over the years as being one of the cleanest drivers out there. And also just willing to help people, right? And willing to support things. And that's Sean's first win in Jamestown since 2023. So it was kind of cool to see him back in victory lane in Jamestown. And what was interesting to me about that race that night was there really wasn't like a dominant line in the modifieds. The groove was moving every single lap, I feel like, all over the place, because there was multiple times I would look up and Sean and John Nord were going at it for the lead. Scotty was real on the high side. Scotty's really good on the high side in Jamestown and was having a really good run over there too. But then I looked deeper in the field, and they were like 4 or 5 wide between drivers such as Marcus Tomlinson on the bottom, Johnny C maybe on the high side, and then back to the bottom. Then you had Jordan Sowers kind of going through the middle. Keller was using the middle. Jeremy Keller was using the middle. And then you look at one of the youngsters like Dayton Kent. That was his first time ever running a mod in Jamestown, and he looked really good on the high side. So it was kind of interesting to watch those drivers, along with Jacoby Trott right in there too. So overall, though, it was a very entertaining, fun feature, really good racing in the IMCA Modified division. Kind of makes me excited for the Tour a little bit, because I feel like the Tour race over there is going to be really exciting too. And Sean picked up the win, and it was a very popular win over John Nord. And John beat Scotty by like this much at the line for second. So it was a really good battle for second.
And then Keller really made a lot of moves to get up there, along with Jordan Sowers.
Yeah, Keller went from 18th up to 5th, and Jordan went from, I think, 11th to 4th. And that was both of their first times at Jamestown this year.
Yep, they looked good.
Dang, sounded like an entertaining night. Kind of bummed I missed that one.
Yeah, Mason, you would have had fun. A lot of cars, a lot of action, and overall some pretty good features.
Sweet. Well, that's a good end to this week's Track Pack Report. And moving on to what's upcoming next, starting in the state of North Dakota. Mr. Dakota Dirt, what do we have on tap?
This week, there's a lot of good racing coming to North Dakota. Starting off on Friday night, the Dacotah Speedway is in action. It's night number 2 for Dacotah Speedway for the Mary Vetter Challenge Series. You got all of your weekly classes there. But if the Vetter Series, Challenge Series has been really good so far, so I wouldn't sleep on this night. It's going to be a pretty good night if they can get it in. Then, up in the Great White North above us, it's the Estevan Motor Speedway, and they are having the Can-Am Shootout. IMCA Modifieds, IMCA Stock Cars, IMCA Sport Mods, Hobby Stocks, and Slingshots. This isn't the Prairie one, is it?
No, that's in a month.
No,
I just wanted to make sure. I know things change, and I don't always get the best updates on my schedule, so I didn't want to miss out on something. Now, out east, our friends at Fix It Forward Speedway, this is where Becca would say, do they have a Fix It Felix mascot and a Wreck It Ralph guy? And I don't think so yet, Becca. No,
shoot ask that question.
Weekly racing for them, as it's IMCA Modified Stock Cars, IMCA Race Saver 305 Sprints, the Hobby Stocks, Sport Mods, and NX Legends will be in action.
Actually, they are not on the schedule this Friday.
What?
They're off.
Yeah,
Fix It Forward is off. They're off until the 3rd of July.
Well, my schedule lies to me. Anywho, we'll go keep it out east with our friends out there. The World of Outlaw late models will be at the River City Speedway, along with the Wissota Midwest Mods, Wissota Street Stocks, and John Breckel will probably be in attendance.
I will. I am actually taking a night off from Mandan and going up to visit the World of Outlaw late models that I've been wanting to do for years up in River Cities.
You will have a good time there, John. I was fortunate enough to go watch a World of Outlaw late models race there, and it is a good time. It is a great show. If you are a race fan on the east side of the state, or just in general a late model fan, I would highly recommend making that trip.
And Jessup, I've got a special announcer that's going to be filling in for me on Friday, but I'm going to let Becca announce that because I'm sure she'll announce it as the week keeps going on.
Yes, it will be a pretty fun fill-in announcer. One of North Dakota's best announcers, and it will be good. We're going to have fun. Hopefully, weather holds off.
Yes.
Looking on to Saturday, the Devil's Lake Speedway will be in racing action. Non-wing sprints, the Wissota Mid-Mods, Wissota Street Stocks, and Pure Stocks will be in action over at the Devil's Playground. And then...
And Jessup, they have $1,000 to win Street Stock show up there on Saturday.
Is this what's it called?
I think...
I don't know if it's the Memorial race this year, though.
I don't think they're having the Memorial, I don't think, right? I haven't seen anything about the Memorial this year. The Cliff Reeves Memorial?
Yes, the Cliff Reeves. All right, well, they got 1,000 to win. They should be able to get a handful of travelers as Jamestown has the night off. Then looking out west at the Williston Basin Speedway, it's something feels wrong about this. Why did I have Williston Basin? It's the Can-Am Shootout. Oh, okay. The Can-Am Shootout over there.
You're thinking correctly.
For some reason, this feels weird. It must be this is what happens when you have kids people, things don't line up and make sense, but apparently it makes sense. IMCA mods, IMCA stockers, hobby stocks, sport mods, and slingshots will be in action for night 2 of the Can-Am shootout over at the Wilson-Basin Speedway. And then looking onto Sunday, it's going to be the Cheyenne Speedway in action with IMCA mods, street stocks, hobby stocks, the short trackers, and NX Legends. And then over at the Nodak Speedway, the Playground of Power will be hosting the World of Outlaw late models along with the IMCA modifieds. This was a great show last year. Hopefully everything gets in and they can race it this year. It should be a great night of racing up there. And I probably will try to make my way over for that.
Same. Yeah, but I'd be up there too, Jessup. And I know last year they had, I think it was mid-20s for late models and great feature, and then also mid-30s for mods, I think, last year in attendance. So it was a really good field.
Yep, that was a great time last year for us.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, a lot of big races taking place across the state of North Dakota, and you mentioned the World of Outlaws late models. They've started their northern swing already. They raced in Ogilvie Raceway earlier this week on Monday night. By the time this comes out, we'll see if it gets out on Wednesday, but I-94 EMR Speedway is hosting the World of Outlaw late models on this Wednesday. I think it's looking good that they'll get that show in. They've been snake bit when a National Touring Series comes in. Haven't had the late models their scheduled show the last couple of years, so looking forward to seeing them. I'm planning to go to that show tomorrow or whenever this episode comes out. Thursday on the 25th, we have Grand Rapids and Victory Lane Speedway racing their weekly shows. And then this Thursday is the first night of the ADA Nationals at Norman County Raceway. And Thursday in particular is the Bicker B-Mod Brawl. So that pits the IMCA Sport Mods versus the WISSOTA Midwest Modifieds in a special format. They're going to have, I believe it's 10 from each sanctioning body, and then they'll fill out the rest of the field up to a field of 26. And so that should be a very interesting race taking place on Thursday. And then Friday, Norman County is also in action for their second night of the ADA Nationals with the Bison Battle, featuring IMCA modified stock cars and legends. Continuing on Friday, Brown County Speedway has sprint cars this week with the Midwest Sprint Touring Series and the NOSA 410 sprint cars, so a treat for the South Dakota fans. We also have Fiesta City Racing once again with vintage cars as well, and Princeton Speedway having their Meet the Drivers night. On to Saturday the 27th, Dakota State Fair Speedway in Huron is also hosting the Midwest Sprint Touring Series, so continuing their South Dakota swing down to Huron. Madison Speedway is racing once again. North Central Speedway has their Meet the Drivers night. Ogilvie Raceway racing a weekly show. Rice Lake Speedway and Viking Speedway also racing. And then Sunday, if weather cooperates, another busy day. Casino Speedway finishing off the Midwest Sprint Touring Series and NOSA 410 swing. Bemidji having Meet the Drivers, as well as Redwood Speedway. And then also the Buffalo River Speedway. I believe that is Fan Appreciation Night.
I think so too. And then, Jessup, did you mention Cheyenne Speedway too with the IMC Modifieds on Sunday?
Did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Buffalo River Speedway finishing out the weekend, and Granite City Motor Park also racing. And kind of a little preview into Tuesday, the World of Outlaw Lamos come to Norman County. So
yes.
I'm planning to hopefully hit up I-94 and Norman County for the World of Outlaw late models this year.
Not going to Minot?
I don't think I will make it over to Minot this year for it. They probably need all the luck they can get to get that showing, and they don't need me to kind of wreck the percentage chances.
Oh,
Fair.
that's true.
Fair.
We don't need Mason. Monsoon Mason over there, no.
Soon Mason. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, although the Minot bubble, or no, the dome, as we call it in Minot, went into full effect on Sunday, because I don't know how they got that show in based on.
I don't know either, because that rain was all around it the whole time.
Yeah, so hopefully the dome comes into effect once again. Now, John, I almost forgot. We almost forgot about one event, and that is the 10,000 to win Midwest Mod Show out in Sheridan. There's actually quite a few cars going out to that show.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few. I believe like some drivers like Jake Smith was going back out there. I believe he's been a past winner down there. Corey Stork is heading out that direction. I do know some of our local hot shoes too, like Kyle Anderson is heading out there as well for that big event. Drivers such as like Lucas Rodine, Brennan Waite, they have gone out there before too. So yeah, they should have a great weekend out there, hopefully in Sheridan, Wyoming for that big event.
Yeah, I was actually there's a post on there that has that they said who's all coming out to the 10,000 to win show, and I think a lot of people commented with their cars. I know Jaron Webstead's planning to go out, according to that.
That would be a good one.
Yep, you mentioned Rodine, Kyle Anderson. Of course, the Likers are going to be out there. Dan Wheeler, he kind of races USRA, so he's going to be out there. It's going to be a fun show. That race has been gaining steam quite a bit over the last couple of years, and I think it's going to be really, really fun to see how it all plays out.
Agreed, and I hope they have a great turnout, and I hope the weather cooperates with them too, because that's always a fun event.
Yeah, that's always the wild card, especially when people are traveling the hours that they are. Justin Jones. Joey Jensen said he was coming, but he just had engine trouble at Ogilvie, so I doubt he's going to be making the trip now. Looks like a bunch more locals. Yeah, Brendan Waite, you mentioned that. Scott Hansen, Todd Stark heading over, so a couple South Dakota drivers. So
it'll be fun. It's going to be a good show.
Dirt Race Central is going to have coverage of that, so definitely check that out if you're curious on how your local drivers doing kind of around our areas and outside the area. So
100%.
We will now display the white flag and give a shout out to our good friend Brody Carlsrud in the B1 IMCA stock car, who unfortunately did not get any racing in this week as they were off from Norman County this past Thursday, and then the Fix It Ford Speedway unfortunately rained out on Friday, so he got a week off. So hopefully you get to see him back in action this week. Be sure to stay up to date on his Facebook page, Brody Carlsrud B1 Racing on Facebook, and his podcast, The Real Deal with B1. Again, thanks, Brody, for supporting us on the Track Packers. John, who do you have for wins of the week?
Well, my first one of the week is going to TPO, Tyler Peterson, on a impressive win over at Ogilvie on Saturday. That was a fun race to watch on a replay from Dirt Race Central, with the conclusion of the feature with him and Cole Schill battling hard over there for the win. In my second win of the week, I'm giving it to Sean Strand. It was really nice to see Sean come over to Jamestown on Saturday and also be over in Mandan on Friday. Unfortunately, bad luck in Mandan on Friday, but he rebounded very nicely over in Jamestown on Saturday and had a very, very good race over there with John Nord and as well with Scotty Gardner to pick up a win over in Jamestown. And then my final win of the week, let's go down to Houston because it was the High Bank Nationals. And David Gravel picked up $300K for his win on Saturday night. Congratulations to Gravel. He kind of had a slow weekend down there a little bit, but obviously was in the event, in the mix for the money on Saturday. But also, they gave away over $1 million down there in prize fund this past weekend. So that was pretty cool to see from the Houston Speedway. And a great field of cars. A lot of really good racing down there, too.
A lot of great racing down there. Some carnage, too. A lot of drivers suffering some pretty nasty wrecks, but I think for the most part, people are okay and recovering pretty well. And so I saw that they're making the event even bigger for 2027.
They are. They're moving it back a week, and it's even going to be bigger.
You know what they're going to have, John?
Yes.
More beer.
And probably more cars.
I don't know. They had a really good car count.
50 cars was impressive, and then also they had 50 cars over at what are the races going on with the sprints? Not the Skagit. There we go.
Skagit. How do you say it? Is it
Skagit?
Skagit, right?
Skagit.
Yep.
Skagit.
Yep.
Yeah, they had 50 sprint cars over there too.
Yes, indeed. Jessup, who are your wins of the week?
Well, I'll start it with Libby Keller. I believe that's her first win.
First ever win, yep.
So, hats off to you. Great job. You got a proud papa back in the pits. So, it's fun to see Jeremy get emotional like that. And, yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. Second winner is probably going to be Chris Pittenger for his modified win over at the Dacotah Speedway. Another first-time winner there. So that's really exciting for them. They've been working super hard over the last couple of years to really improve their program, and it's paying off as I believe he's leading points now.
He's the points leader, yeah. He's the points leader. And that car's for sale.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But right now, enjoy your win. Enjoy the spoils of working hard and keep working hard. And hopefully the season will continue to go well. And my third one, I guess I'll give it to Preston Martin winning the Legendary Tour.
Legendary Tour, yep.
That's a really big deal. Definitely. What they averaged, John? Wasn't it like
43 cars a night? Yep.
43 cars a night. The tour itself, put on by Brandon and Jess Anderson, had really good counts all through it. And I think they said that was the highest car count for Legends at Wishick and Tri-County. So that was really exciting for them. And overall, it seemed like the tour was really well received this year. And if I may, Mason, this is kind of a more breaking news one. Fourth winner goes out to the Glenn's family as they just had their baby boy. It looks like Alwyn Glenn's, Olin, Alwyn, ALWIN, Alwyn. I bet it's Alwyn. Alwyn Glenn's. So very exciting. It seems like everyone's doing well over there. So congratulations to everybody. And yeah.
Good set of wins. My three, I think the first one I'm going to give to is going to go to Tony Smith. He got his first street stock win down at Brown County Speedway on Friday night. He's been looking pretty good for this first half of the season, and we thought he was going to be knocking on the door of the feature win here pretty soon, and he got to click that off on Friday night.
Yep.
So big congrats out to the #1 of Tony Smith. The second one, I'm going to give it to the Princeton Speedway just for getting that show in. I don't know how many people thought they were going to get the show in based off how Friday was going. But persevered. The track was actually very smooth. It was fast. I mean, it never lost any of the moisture throughout the night, but it was pretty racy throughout the entirety of the night once we got heats going. And so kudos to the track prep crew for working hard to get that show in, especially with the travelers coming into town. And then my third win, I'm going to give it to Travis Sauer in the 21X. He got 2 feature wins on Friday, the makeup mod feature at the end of the night, and then the regular feature during the show at I-94 EMR Speedway. So 2 wins in one night. It's a pretty good day for Travis Sauer. And so those are my 3 wins of the week. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up this episode late on this Tuesday evening night?
It's technically Wednesday morning. Not for John, but for us.
For John.
I know. I'm still in Tuesday over here.
He's still got another hour of Tuesday.
I do. In other words, just get out there and pack the track as well, because we're starting to get over to the holiday weekend here upcoming next weekend, and racing action gets to be kind of fun a little bit this time of the year with some of the tour series come through, and then as well as the holidays, there's usually a lot of fireworks shows upcoming here at the racetracks.
Yeah, we're entering the dog days of summer here soon, and it's crazy. We're at the halfway point of the year.
We're getting there.
We are. It's crazy how quick this year has gone by.
Yep.
I don't have any closing thoughts. I think we had a great episode, and we look forward to the next one. Thank you, as always, for tuning into the Track Packers podcast. As always, be sure to like, share, and comment. We'd love to know who's all tuning into the show. Thank you to our sponsors, Paul Bunyan Mini Storage, The Real Deal with B1, Brody Carlsrud, and Isaac Hot Sauce Sondrol. Again, the 4th of July is coming up soon. Racing's getting pretty darn good this year, so we hope to see you out there packing the track.